All right, if you're a fan of Qdoba, stay tuned for this recipe. This is a Qdoba beef taco inspired recipe. And what I love about this is it has the most flavorful, tender ground beef in it. And then it has the tacos that are a little bit crispy on the outside. And guess what? You don't even need to do the hard shell tacos from the store, which, do you even like those?
I'm not a big fan.
They're not even great.
You crunch them when they go everywhere.
It's true.
Then you don't have a taco.
To be honest, what can you even fit in those? I mean, you like literally put a tablespoon of meat. So we don't even use the store-bought shells. I'm going to show you how to make your own crispy, crunchy taco shells for this recipe as well. So Sean, you're going to do the spice seasoning, and if you can see,
looks like a lot of spices.
We have a lot of spices here. Now, don't be intimidated by this. If you want to just use a packet of taco seasoning, that's fine. I always say with seasoning, just use organic if you can find the organic packets. But you can make your own very simply if you have these just basic spices. So I'm going to kind of go through all of our ingredients here to make sure you have them on hand. We have a ½ teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and 3 teaspoons of cumin. We also have a ½ cup of salsa and 1 8-ounce jar of tomato sauce and 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. We also have in the pan here 1 pound of ground beef, but you could use any kind of ground meat that you like. So, Sean, I'm gonna have you add all of our seasonings to this little bowl and then just stir them up. You have your measuring spoons here, and you can just go ahead and start the spices.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'm gonna start breaking up our ground beef for these tacos. And I have my little favorite ground meat tool that helps me get it nice and finely broken up. And you just wanna start to cook this until it browns in the pan. So you'll just want to cook up this meat until it is just about brown, and then we're going to add our spice mixture and let that cook for just a minute or two once we add the spices. I really like to add the spices in the last few minutes of cooking meat and just let it kind of catch on that heat a little bit. It brings out all the flavors of the spice, and you don't want it to burn, so I just add it literally in the last few minutes of cooking the meat. So Sean, you can go ahead and pour that into the ground beef. And this would be Sean's recipe of choice, or what
you make
he
really
would,
good tacos.
this would be what he would request if you know, I were to make something at home. And Sean was actually really creative when we did move here. One of the things that made cooking a lot easier for me, and I highly recommend it, because it just takes a lot of the thought out, is theme nights. And so what did you choose for theme nights?
Pizza was the first night,
yes,
obviously.
and that's our Friday.
Yep, there's taco. I mean, I think everybody has
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, which I guess is trademarked, so.
But hey, it works, and we've been doing it since we moved in, and honestly, it's so refreshing to me. Tuesdays and Fridays, it's already just planned. We have something that's pizza inspired. It's not always actual pizza. So like a pizza stuffed chicken breast on dashing dish would be a good recipe to make for pizza night. And then something like this, or any kind of taco inspired dish.
We usually do one breakfast night too.
True,
it's always...
true, we do. So I will have you add the salsa.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add the tomato sauce to the meat, because we let those spices brown just a little bit. And then you could take that spoon and put that tomato paste in there. And tomato paste is really, really rich. So when you add tomato paste to a recipe, it adds a lot of flavor. So I recommend, if you've never done tomato paste in your Mexican dishes, it adds just about a tablespoon. It adds so much flavor. So that looks really good. So now we're gonna let this just kind of simmer over.
Caramelize.
That's right, caramelize over medium heat here. And while this caramelizes and simmers and just kind of reduces down some of that liquid, we're going to make our taco shells.
She doesn't go for the chips very often. I don't like a lot of places, not a lot of places do chips well. But I mean, my favorite thing is there's a chili crema sauce.
All right,
Okay.
we're ready.
Just shut that down.
That's right. All right, so we have a pan, a sheet pan, and we're not gonna line it with anything. We want the pan to get really hot, and that's what's going to make these shells really crispy.
Okay.
So you could spray this with some cooking spray. Then we warmed up some corn tortillas, but you could use any kind of tortillas that you like, just for about 30 to 60 seconds in the microwave so that they're easier to fold and to work with. So you want some warm tortillas. So let's get the really warm ones on the bottom. All right, so you can just kind of take the tortillas and put just enough that can fit on this pan.
Do you want them overlapping?
If they do a little bit, that's fine. You can see how this beef mixture has thickened up really nicely. This is definitely going to be something that Sean is going to enjoy, I can tell you right now. All right, so we're going to put about 2 tablespoons or so of the meat mixture on just one side of each tortilla. And Sean is going to top it with just a few tablespoons of cheese. You could essentially put whatever you want in these tacos, but Qdoba does it simple. Or am I just used to what you order? Beef and cheese. That's just what Sean orders.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a classic. All right, so then you're gonna fold them over and just give them a spray with cooking spray. All right, so Sean,
Yes.
I'm gonna have you put this this baking sheet pan on top.
Okay.
Okay, so we just are gonna place that on top, and that is going to get the other side of the shell really crispy on the other side when we put it in the oven, because that top baking sheet pan is gonna get really hot as well as the bottom. So it's gonna crisp both sides and kind of glue it together with that cheese and meat in the middle. So it's a nice crispy shell with all of your fillings inside.
That's amazing.
So we're gonna pop these in the oven, 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. And when you pull them out, you'll wanna give them just a few minutes to cool, and they're ready to eat.